wonderful friend, Darcy. Darcy does amazing meditation and bone work, and Darcy is where we'll be going tomorrow evening. Okay, we'll check out her place in Crystal Cottage. So, welcome, Darcy. We thank you, and let's move on with it.
floating in this galaxy, floating in this universe. Expand and allow your energy to be larger than planet Earth, for that is who you are. And I'm going to leave you in the silence for a few moments, just being in the oneness. There is now
We started the tour October 25th. October 25th. But the idea came to us back in September. And for those of you who don't know who the One People are, we basically started, me, Brian, and Lisa, earlier at the beginning of January this year, on a radio show where we were announcing what we had heard back in December. What we heard back in December, a lot of people were very, very awake and waiting and looking for something to happen at the end of December 2012. We likewise, or we had set intent, we had done group meditations, we did a countdown show from the 12th to the 21st, and we were basically trying to put out what it is that we wanted to see in the future. We wanted to see a world where there was no more control, where there was no more hierarchy, where there was no more borders, no more concerns about money, that we can live as residents of planet Earth in harmony and in unity with one another. It was our intention for the future. It was what we wanted to see in this new world that was so prophesied, so many thousands of years ago, not just by the Mayans, but almost every culture on Earth. And when December 21st, 2012 came along, everyone was kind of like, did they come? Are we still here? And we were still here. But something major did change. Energetically, physically, for those people who are in tune with energetic frequencies, they'll know something happened. But what, in the physical world, we discovered on December 25th, 2012, an announcement had been made. This announcement, when I first came across it, I was like, whoa! The announcement was that the world governments, which are all corporations, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, the world governments and the corporate world, the banking world, have been foreclosed upon legally and lawfully. For those of you who are new to that information, I can tell you briefly what that means. In 2 words, you're free. At least on paper. Okay?
I said independently wealthy and debt-free.
Independently wealthy and debt-free. That happened on December 25th, 2012. Now, when that announcement was made, the 3 trustees who had actually done the paperwork, being Heather and Tucci Duraf, Randall Hillner, and Caleb Skinner, they were the ones who had filed all the necessary paperwork. They had done the investigation on the whole system, put it to them, literally knocked on Rothschild doors in some cases, went to their houses and served the papers. The papers to this day have not been rebutted. They've been presented to every world leader, they know about them. But their stance was, the world will never find out. Yes, it's done, there's nothing we can do about it, but the world will never know. We control the media, we control all of the information that flows to the people, and they'll never know. And you'll never get any funding. So it was put basically to us, how do we get the word out? So we, bloggers and radio show hosts, will do it. And we started the radio show earlier in January of 2013. Little did we know when we started that show that there were so many of you listening, waiting, and watching. And in about 3 months' time, it had gone global. I mean, viral. There were websites. What was it? You were tracking the statistics.
At one point, the information was translated into 25 languages. All of our radio transcribed and translated into 25 languages. And if you were to conduct a Google search just in 60 days, it went from a handful of responses on the internet searching for this trust to about 26 million in 60 days' time. So the world was talking about it, and the word got out. But there's a lot of people in this world. So we continue the conversation every week on the radio shows and events like this. And it's no coincidence that we're here in the Unity Church. You know, this whole tour is about, that's what it's about unity. And we're linking up with everybody that we can on the road to express the importance of us as a human family to come together under a common vision at this time. To release, you know, all of our disagreements and misunderstandings and the things that the old controlling systems use to pin us against each other. You're a Democrat and a Republican and left-wing and right-wing and conservative and liberal and all of these arguments that you know, that we use to find differences in one another, when really the common bond is that we all want change. We all want love. We all want peace and harmony and joy and happiness. So let's work together on creating those things. You know, the tagline for the tour is "We're the ones we've been waiting for, and we're done waiting." You know, this tour represents being done waiting. You know, I am no longer willing to wait for that perfect president or politician or world leader or organizer of any fashion to come in and save the day for me. I'll save my own day. And we can all save the day for ourselves together. It just takes cooperation and collaboration. You know, there's just, we say it so many times, these conferences is so much fun to you know, meet people face to face. So it's such a different energy than doing it over the radio, which is also fun. But there's so many people in this world, groups, movements, you know, amazing individuals doing beautiful work to change the planet when it comes to, you know, ending our, you know, dependency on oil, and when it comes to helping to repair the planet, the damage that we've done, when it comes to permaculture and studying energetics and vibration and sound and all these things. There's all this amazing information. Just go online, you know, search metaphysics and see what pops up. Or search, you know, how many websites are there with just amazing messages. But it's become very compartmentalized. You know, you have people doing great work. It's time we start doing this great work together. The fact is that there's 99.9% of this world wants to see a change, but they feel like that change needs to come from somewhere outside of oneself, which is an illusion, as you all know.
One of the biggest things that we noticed in as we started doing this work, the legal paperwork, which seems like it would be a monumental task, that was the easy part. The filings and all of the work, and we started to come up with paperwork that people could use. We had hundreds of thousands of people stop paying their mortgages, you know, and using the paperwork in an empowering way. But the question wasn't about were the filings valid. They were rock solid, and we've had several people at the top levels of banking, finance, and law confirm this for us. The filings were done, they were valid, and the paperwork that we were using was also valid. But when you can take people out of slavery, but how do you get slavery out of the people? And that was a much bigger task. So So we found in our radio shows we were dealing with lots of questions, people, you know, who still had that slavery mentality that they didn't recognize their own value. Most people, when they're born, you're taught and you're indoctrinated to believe that you need to earn a living. That the fact of you being born here on the planet wasn't enough. You need to work to earn your right to be here. We don't believe that's true. You know, we believe that every single person, just by being born here, has a right to live in peace and abundance. Okay, so there was a lot of re-education that needed to take place. We already had all the pieces that we needed, except for basically spreading that knowledge and awareness and awakening that in people, which is not an easy task. So we started doing it with the radio station, and you know, we started to realize that as we were affecting more and more people were coming out with their ideas, and they started to have meetup groups. And that works like nothing I've ever seen. I have watched people completely transform in moments just by sharing stories and looking at each other face to face and actually taking the time to stop and honestly look at themselves and to recognize and accept themselves. And it was so powerful. We had come together in Morocco, several of us that are around Vera, we'll be speaking later. And it was so powerful for us, such a powerful transformation. And I realized that, we all realized that we gotta share this. We have to share this. Which means we've got to get on the road. We've got to go out and meet people and get people together, unite the groups, let people aware, let them see our face, let them know that this is real. To come out there and in with everybody else and activate, unite. Because in the process, we found we had so much power when we all came together. We put the call out. In 3 months' time, we launched a global media campaign that spanned every continent. We had websites, videos, music, educational tools, paperwork,
People by the thousands.
thousands. And we did it without any money. Without any government approval. We did it. It was the people. And we looked at, wow, what else could we do? You know? So we decided, you know, in September 17th, we decided let's put a tour on. When do we want to launch? No later than the end of October. That's impossible. We found no, anything is possible. Let's show them what's possible. And in 6 weeks' time, we organized a global tour with 3, I don't even know how many RVs there are now.
5 now, we bought 3. All people funded.
Yeah, people coming from all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, California, Canada, all over the place, and all came together. And it happened so quickly and so fast. It still spins my head, you know, because I'm on the tour and I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to Norway and we're going to Norway, doing all this. But it's not us, it's when we all come together. So we said, you know, what else could we do? Well, we can give people free energy, you know, and there's lots of other things that are available, but let's just do it. Why are we waiting for the government to approve, whatever? We can do it ourselves. So the tour started to take on different dynamics. So people started to come forward. Well, I developed this device and it's working. And when we were in Norway, oh my goodness, people just came forward. I've been working on this project. I need just this little piece. I got that piece. It was unreal. It was unreal. We were watching. What in the world is? Look what's happening here. And people were suddenly coming together. And then we got together with Sasha Stone and Michael Tellinger, who were doing the same thing. And I realized we're watching the 100th Monkey Effect right now. Everybody's got these ideas. Everybody's got the same. Everybody's basically on the same page. We just don't know about each other, and we're not acting, cohesively, where we can actually affect a change. That's changed now. It is absolutely changed. We are all now becoming aware of each other, beginning to unify, beginning to do what we came here to do. And most of you here have been waiting your whole lives for this time. Stop waiting. The time for waiting is over. And that's where our tagline came from. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we're done waiting. So, there's been a lot of elements that have been added. Lots of different technologies that we've tried to get people aware. Vera's going to talk a little bit about some of the health technologies. We call her McCoy. She's been the one, if anybody has followed, she's the one that helped me get out of my chair. For the first time in 4 years, where I could actually get up and start walking. And she did it with her little magic wand that she's going to talk about later, after we're done with our introduction here. But there were so many different elements that are available right now, where people can be free in a very literal and practical sense. That we can set up communities, right? And we don't need permission to do it. Mind you, the governments and the banks are foreclosed on, and they know it. I've personally spoken with the Federal Reserve. I've personally spoken with the U.S. Treasury. They know, and they're scared.
One thing that we've learned on this tour of many, we've learned a lot, and we just continue to learn and grow. More so remember than learn, because I see this as a school for remembering, really, because at a deeper level, we have all the answers. We are omniscient. Is that all of the ideas to fix, what we would call broken? I see it from a different perspective now. I feel like things needed to kind of come unglued in order for them to be put back together again in a way that makes sense for us. So there's no mistakes. We're here for a reason. We've experienced great suffering, tragedy, oppression, deceit, lies, and corruption. We've experienced all those things because we designed it at some level. We needed to go through those experiences to help us to remember. All the things that we need to turn things around for humanity already exist. It's already out there. It's already been created. All the necessary tools to end world hunger, to cure every disease. We're in contact with one of our colleagues. She runs an organization called Fix the World Organization. And one of the scientists, who's a doctor that she's in contact with, who's currently traveling around South America, he's figured out a way to program the frequency of water to over 2,000 various diseases, including cancer, HIV, AIDS, and some of the most debilitating viruses known to man. To where when you ingest it, the the cells, the virus, commit suicide. They kill themselves off. You don't need any antibody. They just kill themselves. And he's going around from community to community in third world countries and curing people of all their illnesses. He's obviously doing it underground because it's very dangerous, not necessarily in the best interest of the pharmaceutical companies. But he's doing it, and he's created it. And the device is to create free energy and abundance and prosperity for every single person on the planet already exist. And they're boiling to the surface now. Another thing that we've learned is that truth can no longer be suppressed. It's going to come to the surface no matter who tries to hold it down. Another thing is that the majority of those, we call them partners in contrast, some of you might know them as the powers that be or the powers that were, they're jumping ship and wanting out also. You have a very small group of people trying to still pull the strings of control, and they're starting to realize that people are waking up to the understanding that all control is an illusion. Nothing outside of you can control you. If you allow it to, it can. If you allow it to, it can. But if you look at what it is that is being presented to you in the face, you decide whether you become a victim of it or not. We are not victims. We are powerful co-creators, and we're starting to remember that. And what happens when you gather like this is people start to realize that the only thing keeping us from collaborating and cooperating is ourselves, and maybe a platform to help create the foundation for that, which we're creating now. So this is one people. Every single one of us, including those who have manipulated and deceived us, all the way dating back to the beginning of time. What is absent limits? It's stepping into our total and complete ability of absolute empowerment, not allowing anything whatsoever to hold us back, so long as whatever it is that we're trying to do is in the highest interest of all, that is. And when we realize that, when we talk about oneness and all being connected, it's easy to say. It's really easy to say. It's totally another frame of being alive to know that when we look into each other's eyes and we say namaste, that we truly see the recognition of self in others, and that we are all a reflection of each other. And when we start to care about one another with love and compassion and empathy, and we start to realize that we are all family, and we start living that way, then nothing is impossible. We can do anything. We can be anything, so long as we release the perception of limitation.
It's that perception of limitation. It's that perception of limitation that's held us back for so long. We are so confident and sure of what we can't do. We are so confident and sure in our weaknesses. It has, at some point, become acceptable to think of yourself as flawed. It has become acceptable to say, I'm not perfect. And become quite unacceptable to think of yourself as being perfect. Why is that? You were born in sin. You need someone to save you. All of these limiting ideas, they need to go. They do not serve us anymore. None of you are flawed. None of you are less than perfect. God did not make anything less than. Period. Which means everyone, every life, every consciousness is equal and magnificently grand. There are two things that Spirit always addressed humanity. And it must have been important because they kept having to say it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Whenever addressed, and I don't care what holy book you go to, you'll find, do not fear and do not be amazed. Do you know why those two statements are always repeated by Spirit? Because you're always looking at yourself. Why would you be afraid or astonished at yourself? It's almost like saying, well, oh, I can't believe that God would make something this, or I'm not worthy to deserve it. And this is what we're trying to get people to understand. Your true value. And I say this on my radio, your smile can save a life. Do you know how powerful that is? A touch could save a life. How much would you sell your soul for if you think of yourself as valueless? Any price? $1 billion? $5 billion? Or are you priceless? And if you are priceless, wouldn't it be nice to be able to spend some of that value? To use some of that value? Right? To do what it is that you wish to do on this planet. To be happy. And it just takes a shift in understanding. A shift in perception of ourselves. To look in the mirror and say, wow, you did some good work, God. Right? No more fear. No more astonishment. Let's step into it. Let's get the job done. We're going to start. Well, we already have started, but we're going to turn it over. We're going to start talking about some of the different aspects of the tour. Vera is going to talk about what is Vera going to talk about? Vera's going to talk about her magic wand.
Thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties. I did have a little device that I thought would be good, but clearly it wasn't, so thank you for being patient. Ed is my little clicker. So it's like, alright, McCoy is a big name, hasn't go very well in Morocco, that kind of stuff. So, because I was walking around with a little device and she likened it to Star Trek, the tricorder phaser, so those triggers, so that's what. I guess my background, I started in teaching as a high school music teacher and private music teacher, so all my life it's been about frequencies and harmony and music. I then decided 14, 15 years after teaching that there must be life after teaching because the system was getting a little bit much for me, so I decided to retrain myself and go into natural therapies. So I trained in many modalities, but the ones I went professionally to was reflexology, Pilates, and scanning, which I'll be talking about in a moment. And I then kind of connected all the dots and realised that what I'm here is to help in raising. So, how are we connected to the cosmos and how are we to harness this healing for ourselves? There's many ways we can do it, and some of that's free. It's just knowledge. There's universal truths that we're all interconnected at the most fundamental level of being and consciousness. I'm preaching to the converted. We all don't know. Do you want me to have this better? Okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not used to microphones. And it's probably the accent as well. There's a brilliant biomolecular biologist in Hawaii, resonant frequencies within our DNA, and he's actually discovered that the DNA, the frequencies that are emitted in the DNA, the biophotonic light that DNA emits, is actually a frequency. And so he's actually discovered, as many others have in different ways, that we are frequency, and that if we can tune ourselves, that we can remain healthy and eliminate disease. It's all about frequency. He's a brilliant guy. And he says DNA forms a continuous network that carries an electromagnetic wave that transmits information through the body. And that this light emission and absorption of biomolecules modulates or adjusts their function and therefore prescribes the necessary resonant frequencies for their target. Has a particular frequency. There's been many studies done in describing which frequency is for what organ, for blood, for various illnesses. It's all frequency. If you see here a spectrum, so there's no shortage of signature frequencies to choose from. We all emit a particular frequency within ourselves. Many people can see that as an energetic field. Some people feel it. It's been really interesting travelling around the States, going through various airports and actually educating the guys who are operating those new scanning machines. And the first machine we came to, Nanako wasn't aware of this, but Brian, Bob, Lisa and I, we kind of knew already, so we said, no, we'll opt out. And so we're all lined up waiting. Nanako goes through and she's going, how come I'm the only one going through? And we're going, you'll find out. And these guys that have been taught by the companies to do these scans, they said, oh, it's just sound frequencies, can't hurt you. And I'm going, sure. It actually does have effects, and I can see it on the devices, how it affects our bodies. It's putting you into a different frequency that isn't your own. When it's not your frequency, it can cause harm. When I've treated clients coming back from overseas trips when they've gone through multiples of these, their structure has been affected. Going on. Dr. Wright found that every disease has a frequency. Substances with higher frequency will destroy disease of a lower frequency. When you go into a room and there's people that are really joyous and you are not quite so at that space, it doesn't take very long for you to get up there as well. Similarly, if you go into a room and there's something a bit funky, you'll kind of, okay. So, higher frequencies will always lift up the lower frequencies. Nikola Tesla, to eliminate frequencies that interfere with our bodies, the greater resistance towards disease. When we're away from electromagnetic smoke, cell towers, I live in an area where actually there are no cell towers. It's great. We don't get mobile reception. Everyone is frustrated because they can't contact me. But it's great because I don't have that through me all the time. Wi-Fi is another problem. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. That affects us too. Going on. You've probably seen this before. It appeared on surfaces when they're made to vibrate at certain frequencies. There's actually a cool video, the next slide. I'll just let, yeah, if you can click on that, and then, I don't know how you get, there should be power. I don't know, I might, can I play this video? On my computer it just comes up with a little play button.
Put the cursor down at that bottom blue line, and you'll see there's
On the blue line.
play arrow will come up. Put the cursor down.
No, okay. If we can't get it, I'll just skip it. But it's actually a video.
Move the cursor down to the
The
bottom.
cursor down to that little blue strip on the bottom.
In the corner.
Scroll over to the left.
Oh, no, that's the previous one. Oh. The previous slide. Okay. The picture down the bottom, what he's doing, he's got this metal disc and he's just put coloured sand on there. But by using different size rubber mallet heads and different speeds around the edge of the metal disc, the coloured sand actually organises itself into various patterns at the top. And it's really cool to see the vibration of that coloured sand organising itself into different shapes, just by sound. It really demonstrates quite nicely. So, if you do a Google search, you'll find it. Alright. Yeah, we'll skip the next one there and go back. Okay. Lower frequencies attract lower frequencies and create physical changes in the body. This is after about 15 minutes. The second image is after 15 minutes of somebody talking on a mobile phone. Okay? That long term can cause changes in the brain structure and in the tissue. So this is a thermographic image. If you're going to be using mobile devices, have an earplug or something. Better. Okay, next one. A healthy body resonates between 62 and 72 hertz. When the frequency drops, our immune system is compromised. So colds and flus start about 57 to 60, disease 58, and the death process starts at 25 hertz. Those kind of frequencies I can actually measure on the devices I'll talk about in a minute. So, next one. And we know about Emoto's work, love and gratitude, and electrosmog. So, there's a real difference. Frequencies are important. So how can we maintain balance and restore our own health? Gorgeous picture, even though I'm a Pilates instructor, I can't do that, so I might try. Gotta find another gorgeous body to match. Plenty. Okay. So what can we do? Alright, next slide. Oh, yes, here we go. We started off today already with the beautiful bowls that we have, and Darcy mentioned a few of these things. What we think and what we say, we all know it has an impact. So if you click the button, yeah, and again, okay. These are actual graphics of those words. I feel so tired. That phrase is in a frequency graph. I feel sick. When you say those words, they have actually a vibration. Compare it to that, which is, click again. I have energy, I am healthy. Look at the expansive range difference. So when you are speaking, thinking in positive terms, there's a great range of frequency. So we need to raise our body frequency weekly. So fresh foods vibrate between 20 and 27 hertz. And high if they're organic and straight out of the garden and eaten fresh. And Bill's beautiful food that he brought yesterday from his garden with the blessed water that he waters them with would be an amazing frequency. And we tasted, you could see the energy of all the projects. And of course the love added to it as well. Just sends it right through the roof. Dried foods and herbs vibrate between 15 and 22 hertz. Processed and canned food, nothing. It's dead. Essential oils, 52 to 320 hertz. When I first came to know about natural therapies or alternate therapies, I discovered that through essential oils. My daughter was really quite sick and needed to find something to help her because the doctors weren't helping her. She was 2 years old and she stopped eating. They just kept giving her more and more antibiotics and she wasn't getting any better. And their solution to, she's not eating, just give her fluids. They had nothing to offer except more drugs. So I started looking into something different. And I came across homeopathics and essential oils. Within about a period of 24 hours, I read everything there was on essential oils, created a little brew. I must have been a witch in the past life. That was fun. Within an hour of applying the essential oils, she was eating. And so I never looked back. She hasn't been to a doctor since. She's 23. Next slide. Okay, this is a really important chart. Some of you may have seen it, but in case you haven't, the sun is right at the top. We need sunshine. The body produces in 20 minutes in the sun 10 to 16,000 international units of vitamin D3. D3 is important for our immune system because there are receptors in the immune cells that the D3 activates to start the immune system working. Most conditions, like your cancers, dementia, Alzheimer's, those kind of things, people are very, very deficient in D3. You get their D3 up, get them into healthy foods, they start to improve. The FDA recommends that we only need 400. It's grossly inadequate. To boost yourself, try taking between 5 and 10,000 international units a day. You can get them in little capsules, they're really cheap, especially here. Chlorophyll, essential oils, wheatgrass, they have the highest frequencies. Superfoods, the raw chocolate, seaweed, almonds, cacao, spirulina, lemons, gochis, they're coming down in frequency. Then you get down into the lower frequency, 5 hertz is your apples, blueberries, things from trees. Foods from the earth, so lower frequency again. Your sweet potatoes, your lettuce, spinach. So those foods we want to try and have as much as we can. What gives us absolutely no frequency benefit are those that we kind of like a lot. And that's your eggs, your creams, your milks, your donuts, your cakes, your dairies. And then minus frequency actually causes us frequency harm. Is your burritos, your pizzas, your hot dogs, your lobster and bottom feeders, etc. So if you're wanting to keep your frequency at a higher level, try eating foods that are in that higher frequency range. So I'm not saying don't eat any of the others, but no, if you want to help your frequency, then pick from a more supportive group of foods and get out into the sun. Yeah, some days breatharians. There's some people out there. Yeah, why not? Okay. So that's just to reiterate that so you can understand it better. And that's why with my daughter the essential oils worked really efficiently, because I was getting a high vibrational food because her frequency was so low and she wasn't getting any better. So a boost of high frequency, she responded quickly. Okay, next one. And okay, frequency healing scanner. Okay, so those things that I've just talked about, that's just knowledge you can do for yourself. There are other tools out there that aren't known to me, and now I'm just going to get into the devices. So scanner. It actually stands for self-controlled energoneuroadaptive regulator. Self-control meaning the body's own mechanisms. Energo, the energy body, delivered through the neural system, the nervous system. Adaptive regulator, so it's a device helping the body's adaptive systems to regulate. It's a mouthful. It's a non-invasive, non-toxic, handheld therapeutic device. In 3D world, what's professionally, in Australia particularly, clinically, we're only allowed to say that it alleviates pain, facilitates functional restoration and improvement, because it's bound by TGA laws. In America, you can only get the devices by prescription, but there's a way around it. Absolutely. In 4D, 5D New Earth, it assists us to raise our vibrations and bring in the new energies through us. That's what I believe it does. So this is what it looks like, the professional device, so it's really quite compact. Okay. So it's got a screen, and then there's a little baby one that looks like that. So they're quite compact. I'll just turn that around. Okay, that's one. It was invented by some Russians in the late 70s, early 80s for the space program. They wanted to be able to get a device up into space without any need for huge instruments, lots of drugs, whatever they needed there. It went into hospitals pretty quickly after that. It went to the UK in about 99 and came to Australia about 2003. So it's only recently been around 10 years as far as Western world's concerned. But it's not new technology, it's been around for quite some time. It's a biofeedback device. So what it's doing is that it's helping the body, gives messages to the body via the information through the central nervous system to the brain. The brain releases neuropeptides, floods the whole system. The device picks up that information, sends a new signal back. The brain receives it, replies. The device picks that up, sends a new signal back, and it's continually going backwards and forwards. So it's continually adjusting to what is going on for you in this moment. Not what happened yesterday or last week or 20 years ago, what's happening now. The reason, actually I'm probably a bit ahead of myself. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so these are neuropeptides. These are the body's, neuropeptides are the body's own pharmacy. The body has its own intelligence. It knows how to look after itself. We don't actually have to do anything up here. It knows. So it's gonna, basically the Russians decided that they would use Western technology but Eastern traditional therapies, as well as contact massage and modern electrotherapy. So they've actually taken the best of a lot of things and put them all together. Okay. And energy medicine. We are a hologram. Every part of us is connected to the other part. We start off as a little ectoderm. Everything, all the information is there. We just grow. We just have bits and pieces sticking out, but we're all connected. Okay. So there are many ways that people can diagnose and treat the body. Auricular therapy is one, for those that know the points on the ears. I don't actually work that, but I know it's there. And many people are able to tell by looking at the face what's going on. So you can treat the face. I often do in therapy. And this you can actually do for yourself. If any of you have lower back issues, so your thumb is your head, these two fingers are your arms, these two are your legs. If you have a lower back problem, for example, between the third and fourth finger, if you kind of push into there, you'll find that that is very tender. If you kind of rub in there for a little while, that will alleviate and that will assist lower back issues. A little story on that. Years ago I was in Salzburg, and we were at a concert and some Australians were sitting next to us, and this young guy had a really badly damaged foot because he decided to jump into an ice lake the day before, and it was a dumb thing to do. So he was in a lot of pain, and I wasn't about to treat somebody at a concert, so I just whispered over to him. I said, "Okay, just do this, just massage the tip of your finger, just while we're sitting here." And his friends thought it was pretty loopy. Anyway, he did it. And by the end of the concert, we were leaving, and one of his party came running up after me and said, "You know what, he's been doing that all the concert, and his foot doesn't hurt anymore." I said, "Awesome." So, it works. If you've got a headache, massage your thumb. Works. Just a few minutes. Being a reflexologist, so I work through the feet as well, and we've got some really important points on the feet. One of the most important things you can do for yourself is, I don't have a pointer, but if you can see the blue dot kind of underneath the second and third toe, oh thank you, yes, with the red circle around it, that's kidney 1. Kidney 1 is, according to the Chinese, the root of all life. That's where we draw the energies from God. So, as often as you can, walk on the earth, because that's where you're drawing the energy through. Okay? Ground yourself, because of that point. And if you touch that point and it's sore, then you probably need to go out there and do that. Okay? A lot of this, this you can find on the internet. Just Google Chi reflexology, you'll come up with this image. And if you massage lightly, not really hard, any of those points, you can help yourself. Okay. Okay, frequency healing. So we now know that the body is made up of interpenetrating energy fields which interact with the physical and cellular systems in our body. Okay, so we talked about DNA to start with, how it carries information. Working on different parts of the body can help change those aspects as well. We know that disturbances in these energy systems can create imbalance and eventually disease in the body. By directing energy into the body, we can influence and change the body's energy patterns, promoting homeostasis. The body knows how to be in balance. It just needs a bit of help sometimes when there's an awful lot of stresses on us. And we keep pushing through and we don't listen to the signs that we need to rest or we need to eat better foods. So that's what we need to be doing. When the body's healing, there's some ways that the body knows how to heal itself. It will always heal from the head down. If you have an issue in the neck, plus an issue on the foot, for example, that foot problem will be there a lot longer because the body is working up on a higher issue first. So if you're already stressed, emotionally anxious, all those kind of issues, plus you've got feet issues, until you can address some of those stresses and those emotional issues, probably the ankle or the foot probably will be slow to recover. And it also will heal from the inside outwards. Again, if you've got a heart issue and a really bad cut on the knee, for example, and the body's only got a certain amount of resources, the body will make sure that you're still living, and when it can, it will address the cut. Okay. And as the body is healing, it will work on more recent issues, and then it will work on dealing with other things that it kind of put in the back corner to deal with later when it had the reserves to do that. So often I have somebody come to me with, say, a frozen shoulder. As that's healing, this one will probably come up because that actually came first. And they forget that actually, well, this is better now, that's not hurting anymore, but they're still complaining because they're still in pain, but it's shifted over here. That's really normal because it's addressing now older issues. And when I say that to people, they invariably say, well, I could be here forever. Well, you've probably taken many years to get to this point. So, just need a little bit of patience. Okay. So, following the holographic principle, wherever you put the scanner, you'll always achieve an effect. The scanner has an influence on the symptoms as well as the cause of the disease. So, remembering those neuropeptides, what we're doing is helping the body activate its own system. So, it doesn't matter where the problem is, the cause. Where the symptom is may be the cause, sometimes it's not, but that doesn't matter. It will always go to the cause, otherwise what's the point? If you don't address the cause, the symptom's going to stay there. Okay, so often if I treat someone, say with a hip issue, if I just address that and nothing else, if I don't see what's happening above, down the spine, there may be a blockage further up. Information isn't getting to here. So I could be wasting my time unless I look at what else is happening down the spine. So it will have an effect on the cause. Okay. So just to illustrate, the device is sending electrical pulses via the skin through the central nervous system to the brain. It's helping restore those communication channels so the brain can actually know, oh, okay, there's a problem there, and then get to work and healing itself. So the device or me or whoever's giving the treatment isn't fixing you, it's helping you fix you. And in that way it's not harmful in any way. There are no side effects. Okay, let's briefly line the skin. Because we actually, there are two electrodes on the back, there's a positive and negative, and we put it directly onto the skin. Okay, so it's not through clothing, but directly on the skin. It's because it's a main informational organ of the body. of a nervous system from the same segment of the fetus. And I think it's not. Okay, the body works in processes. It's a logical instrument. It knows what to do. Okay, that's fine. It adapts to outside stresses. It reacts to external influences and connected directly and indirectly with organs behind the brain. So sometimes you can have a pain around here, but it's actually probably coming from somewhere else via that. I've got the word dermatitis. Okay, so this is a mechanism of adaptation. And just to illustrate, this is a really slow slide. Okay, so while that's coming up, when it's really cold, our body shivers. It's a really slow shiver if it's working at all. Yeah. Okay. The body will shiver to keep warm. It's vibrating at a high level to keep it warm. Okay. So that's the adaptive reaction. The body is adapting to its situation to help itself. Next slide. And similarly, if it's really hot, the body will start to sweat to keep it cool. So you don't actually have to think about these processes. The body will just do it because it has its own intelligence. Okay. Go on. One of the things we're not taught about pain is that it's actually necessary to be in pain because it's the information of the body into itself that there's a healing process happening. We've been taught that pain is bad. Here's a drug, squash it down, don't feel it, it's bad. Not all pain is bad. Some acute pain needs you to take notice. Okay? But not all of it is bad. It's actually at the end of a long process that it's been healing. Somebody's just had a trauma, they actually can't feel anything. I'm sure you've heard about that. It's only later, when the body starts the healing process, that they'll suddenly feel the pain. Okay. So, the body, again, knows how to look after itself. Swelling, if we have an injury, everyone thinks you've got to really get that swelling, down as quickly as you can. But it's the body protecting itself by expanding and cushioning that area and letting you know that there's been an injury there, so you don't keep walking out, so you can rest, so it can heal. You can't heal if you're running a marathon. You've got to stop. The body puts that protective swelling there, so it can do its job. It's like the same with a wound. What it does is puts a scab over it, so it's repairing underneath. These are all natural processes. Okay, so who can use scanner? That's my daughter. Anyone, basically. You can be pregnant and use scanner. Kids just flock to it, they don't have a problem. Old people and animals. These guys are all treated, so I did a lot of work with racehorses. There was a story with one racehorse that was basically left out in the paddock. He had heart arrhythmia, and for a racehorse that's actually not a good thing. They can't run with a non-functioning heart. So the vets wanted to give it a drug that was really highly toxic and had a very high chance of killing the horse. Yeah, let's just inject it. Anyway, they did that. Of course, the horse got really, really ill. It lost 50 kilos in a matter of days. It stopped eating, it stopped moving. It just stood in the paddock. Did nothing. That's when I saw it. The owner fortunately knew about Scanner and asked me to come and help. So we took it into the stables and I started working down the spine. I had to get up on a really tall crate because I'm dead about the spine. So actually I'm standing on the crate and After about 10 minutes, the horse did this massive luminous green dump. It was disgusting. Fortunately, I wasn't in line, but it was over there. And I thought, okay, that's good. The body started to eliminate. Perfect. Kept working, and my ear was around its stomach, and I could hear it going on. And I thought, no, something's going to happen soon. So sure enough, this massive fart comes out. It goes for about a minute. I haven't heard a fart after that. And I'm trying to treat it, and I'm going, it was funny. I was trying to be professional, but so, and I said there, I think he might be interested in the carrot now. Sure enough, he started chomping. And then, no, I didn't record it, no. Then the horse was starting to get a little bit sort of fidgety. So I said, okay, I think he's had enough now, let's take him out and see how he is. So we let him back into the paddock, and he started dropping around and going. And the other's going, oh my God, is it my imagination, or is that a different horse? And I said, pretty good one. The horse went around, and then it kind of did this, and this buckets of wee come out, more illumination. And then I started eating happily grass. 3 days later, I came back to do another treatment. And I had to actually chase after him because he was already feeling so much better. He put on weight, he was eating again. The vets didn't give him the second drug that they wanted to give him that had even a higher chance of killing him, because the owner said, look, no, I don't want that. They ended up giving the horse maybe an adrenaline hit and a heart attack. And it was interesting that the vets couldn't say that Scanner worked, and we couldn't tell that the drugs worked. But it would have been really nice if we came together and said as a team, good job. Because it was the horse then had some training and it was ready to run some of the big races in the country, and it was winning these races. So that was a brilliant, good sort of result. My cat, he's still with me, but probably it's about a year and a half ago, he had a broken back and they were going to put him down, the vet. And I didn't tell him, I didn't scan him, I just listened to what they had to say, and I thought, okay, well, he wasn't walking, he wasn't eating, he was in a lot of pain. I brought him back home, and I treated him for about half an hour, twice a day, for 5 days. And he was walking at the end of that, going to the bathroom, eating healthily, and well on the way to recovery. And he's still there. So, I've also worked on dogs. These little guys, they've had knee replacements, and I worked on Scanner with them as well in their recovery. So Scanner, it doesn't matter. Humans, 4-leggeds, 2-leggeds, it doesn't matter. Okay, no problem. It's been used quite a lot with sportsmen in their recovery and pre-training for Olympic events. These guys, you won't know, but they're Australian world champions, Olympic champions, tour for a Wright as a gold medalist in snowboarding. And main basically her story was that she was a 6-time world title holder in surfing, and she had a broken neck, which ended her career, but she heard about Skinner, started having treatment, and she went on to win her 7th title in surfing. So she's really happy about that. And going on, and different football clubs, Spanish, Real Madrid, the band Deep Purple. The couple of the wives of the guys in Deep Purple have scanners, and one day a blind psychic came to one of their homes and was in a bit of pain. The wives went away to get the scanner, but didn't tell the psychic. But as they came back into the room, the psychic said, "That device you've got in your hand, I know what it does this, it's arranged this way, and it's Atlantean technology." And that was awesome to hear. So, Russell Crowe, George Clooney, all the hunky ones. Okay. This is just one of my clients, Oliver. He has scar tissue from an injury. The parents went down the traditional way to kind of have that healed, but there was still scar tissue there, and they came for a few sessions to get that scar removed and the tissue healthy again, and he absolutely loved it. So that's just me working on there, and that's one. It can be used for cosmetology as well. This is just an example of a lady who just had a new love in her life. She was in her 50s and she wanted to look fabulous for a new man. And so the top left is, I took a photo at the beginning of the session, and at the end of the session, the lines were removed, and the following week at the beginning of the session, it was still clear. When you're doing surface stuff like wrinkles or boob jobs, butt jobs, whatever, the body has to be healthy within. So treatments for people that want that kind of work, it actually takes a bit longer because you need to get the whole body healthy to begin with, otherwise it's not going to hold. If the body has another priority, like there's an imbalance anywhere in the body, it's not going to consider anything superficial of any importance, so it won't hold. So we need to take a little bit more care inside, everywhere. Okay, so that's just a little bit. I had to cut down the presentation a little bit for today because we had a little time. But the devices, the little ones, they are $8.90 Australian dollars, which I think goes to $8.10, $20 US or something. As I said before, they're only released here with a doctor's prescription, but we've got around that by getting the mail to people directly. So we've got around that a little bit. They come with a manual, with DVDs and USBs, all the information, as well as me on Skype to train. So I'm on that as well. The company has also given 40% of those sales back to support their tool because they really believe in what we're doing, that we're all doing, and they want to help change the world as well. So that's awesome. And that's the email you can catch me on. There's some brochures here and cards. Unfortunately, I can't give full-on treatments today. It's just too exhausting for me. I tried to do that in Norway and wiped me out for a few days. But I can certainly show you. We can have a look later and ask me any questions about it. Or send me an email. My Skype name, if you want to contact me on Skype, Harmony Health Works, or one word, Harmony Health Works. That was my business before I shut it down a few months ago, because I believe that there was something better for me to be doing. And I decided that I would give all that away and see what the world had to offer. So that's why I'm here. I believe that, you know, to change, you have to stand.
Can you get it a little bit louder so you can be contacted at?
The Skype,
Yes.
Harmony Health Works.
Thank you.
Just put when you like make a contact request, just put in there a little bit what it's about, because sometimes I get Army generals wanting to contact me, so like, no. So, if there's any questions, I'll answer, otherwise you can catch me later. But thank you very much for your time, and